both banks as a consequence of the alignment between our teams. There are many cultural similarities. There's many things about this community that are common with everywhere we do business as a bank. And we have a deep belief in local communities, attachment to local communities, and I've heard many people give talks about this, but one thing that Mark Furlong and I have in common is just the way we've run our careers. We spend time in the market, in the communities where we do business, and we do it on a continuous basis. So I'm delighted to be here. I think there are benefits for employees, for customers. I think I spoke with Mark to the governor-elect this morning. I think there's benefits for the state of Wisconsin, and I'm looking forward to being involved with the community here, and as well getting to know some of you. And I think, Mark, you said we were going to take some questions. Happy to.
Mr. Downe, aren't you buying a troubled bank, and how do you make it profitable for your entire operation?
Well, I think it's an interesting question. I think the progress that the management of M&I has made in the last couple of years in working down significant problem loans, and those problem loans are a characteristic of the U.S. real estate market, means that we're well through the process. And I think that the way in which we've done the transaction basically allows us to separate the troubled real estate portfolio, keep it separate, and look at the personal and commercial bank ongoing as a business where we'll be able to look at the forward progress every quarter. So I think it's really a time of renewal.
What about the name of the organization?
Both banks will continue until the merger is completed. M&I will be M&I, and Harris Bank will be Harris Bank, and I think we'll have to spend a little bit of time thinking about exactly how the branding presents itself. The thing that I know about brand is what it represents in customers' minds is the essence of what a bank is, and most of the time that we spend preparing for the closing of the transaction will be brand reinforcement. What is it we stand for in the minds of our customers?
What does this mean for the employees of M&I here at the headquarters in Milwaukee? Will they retain their jobs? Will those jobs stay here?
I think that's an excellent question, and I'd like to hit it head on. There will be opportunities that come from future growth, and I think that's how you have to think about the bank. We're going to look at the whole organization, and I think there will be more employment opportunities in some areas in Wisconsin than there previously would be. We'll clearly do some rationalization of some of the functions as we've done across the whole bank. But I think a growing bank creates jobs in the long run. It creates employment and creates opportunities for the employees, and that's how I would look at this.
What about M&I's role in this community? Aside from just employing people, it's a huge player in the Milwaukee community. How will it still be involved? Will it still participate in charity functions and things like that?
Yeah, and that's a question I was hoping you'd ask. I think direct involvement in the community is necessary in order to be relevant in the community. And Harris Bank, as an example, has only had a very small presence here in Milwaukee formally since we acquired Ozaki Bank. And you can see the presence already in the city. We believe in reinvesting in the community. I know Mark has been extremely involved with the civic community and with charitable giving in the not-for-profit sector. I feel the same way. I've been actively involved with United Way in every city where I have worked, and we just have a commitment as a corporation. I hope you'll take the time to read some of our recent postings. We just posted our annual report, and we talked specifically about the things that when I spent time looking at the face of M&I, the similarities were very close. Commitment to the community, commitment to employees.
This morning in the conference call, you talked about $250 million in synergies will be realized within the first 3 years of this transaction. That sort of, in my mind, implies immediate job losses and efficiencies. Have you already identified areas where you're going to be making some adjustments here in the metro area, and what areas might those be, and how might that impact that big building just a couple blocks away?
Yeah, and I can't speak to how directly it'll impact the building. We wouldn't have said that we can recognize $250 million of synergies if we didn't believe that they exist. A lot of them have to do with systems, operations, back offices, data centers, call centers, and one thing that we didn't talk about was revenue synergies, and the reason is when you do a combination of two companies, people believe when you say that you have identified cost synergies. Seldom can you point to direct revenue synergies that you believe exist, but I think it's a combination of revenue growth and the control of expense that drives value. So I wouldn't discount revenue synergies and the creation of growth that will, in essence, allow us to have a more efficient organization. And if you look at M&I as a bank over most of its life, in the last 2 or 3 years in banking, things have been confused by high levels of impaired loans and the cost of workouts. But M&I was always one of the most efficient banks in the United States, and I would consider that to be the model, the operating model that we would embrace going forward.
Just to be clear, there will be synergies, as you mentioned, and there certainly will be redundancies. Do you have any idea yet, bottom line, how many employees or positions might need to be eliminated here to accomplish those?
You know, I don't have a number. I haven't calculated a number, but I would say that the adjustments that would be necessary, and there will be adjustments necessary, there always are, will be taken evenly across the organization. We're combining 2 organizations. We also have a shared platform on a North American basis, and I expect that when we put 300 Harris branches and 370 M&I branches and 900 Bank of Montreal branches together, we're going to find that there are opportunities for savings everywhere in the organization.
And what about we know what's going to become of Mark, but what about the rest of the senior management team at M&I? What becomes of them?
Well, the way that we've approached it, and I don't want to speak for Mark, but we have talked about the path forward, and I think the only sensible way to do it is to establish a team to work through the transition, look at the management, the people that are in management roles in all parts of the company, put leaders in the key positions who are going to do the best job, find other roles for other people, and if there isn't a fit, then those will be positions that will be eliminated. But I think there's a process where you really want to look at how to create the best opportunities for people to progress and be successful. And I'm not going to shy away from that particular question, but I think it can be very productively done.
And what about
When you talk